Pounders, welcome back. The official last big board video we'll be doing, and today is going to be an unhinged review of the Pounders' favorite drafts that they submitted. Some are going to have some crazy closing line value. Some will have just amazing correlation. Maybe some free agents that you lucked into that correlation before they hit that landing spot. But if you guys are just joining us, go down, slap the like. I have Adam with me to help me with the reviews, a fan favorite of the show, I must say. Adam, welcome.
Yeah, man, good to be here. We were just looking through some of the old teams just before we started, and I think it's going to be fun night.
It's pretty crazy. Some of these teams that were submitted, I know a couple of you, I'm going to touch on it too. You have stronger teams than that because I drafted with you, but most of the teams that are submitted are definitely fun. Shout out to Mike. Hit him with the gritty. Becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate you, my man. Ben's in the chat. Kev, welcome to the live stream, guys. We're going to start off with Adam's team here that he submitted. It's a 3-6-8-3 build with Hurts, Richardson at 70. Disgusting. And then Levis at 219. He was definitely being heavily disrespected, but it is kind of surprising. Like, looking back, we should have all known that he's going to get another chance at this starting job. Now, I don't think anyone saw Ridley going to Tennessee.
Yeah, this was also a case of probably didn't need Levis, but at that point of the draft, like, not many other people around.
Sure. Yeah. You're just trying to find points. With Hurts and A-Rich, definitely didn't need Levis, but let's see if it was a luxury pick. Montgomery was your first RB, Swift at 94, Samir White at 118, Sanders, and then Dobbins at 238. Dobbins has been climbing sort of relatively slow, at least towards the back end of the big board. He didn't get that crazy rise in every single room. I don't think everyone was completely sold on the Chargers landing spot.
Yeah, and plus, like, even you can see in this draft, like, he doesn't have an ADP. Like, this is how early that it was, and
freakishly early.
Yeah.
Hill at 3, Pittman at 22, Cooper, Drake London at 51. This is extremely early. Curtis Samuel was actually going early at the beginning of the contest open. He ends up falling and sort of settling past Michael Wilson. He was in the Zay Jones range for a long time, right before he got that Buffalo landing spot. You get him here at 142. This is pre-Buffalo. Lad McConkey, who you were on super early. I think everyone knows that at this point. 147.
Yeah.
You're happy with that. Even reaching on him this early into the contest is impressive. Hyatt and Mr. Cardio himself, Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
But you get that correlation.
Exactly. Yeah, and then both Atlanta, I guess, receiving options in London and Pitts without knowing who the quarterback was going to be.
Right. Crazy amount of closing line value here with Pitts. Musgrave got the fall, and then Sanders he's been bouncing all over. But really, the earlier the pick and the more they've risen, the more it should be sort of noted, the more weight it holds. The earlier the pick, the more they've risen. So like Drake London rising to pick like 16, that is an insane amount of closing line value at 51. But that is honest. This got to be, we have to start it off with like a 94 grade here. This is a solid A.
Doing grades for the
this is a solid A.
Okay.
We'll see if someone beats a 94 today, but the Levis pick, I mean, I think it could have been higher. We didn't absolutely crush it running back.
Yeah.
But my God, the rest of the draft is impressive. A-Rich at 70. Disgusting.
Yeah. A-Rich and Hurts now is a lot more expensive, that pairing.
We'll pull up Dave's draft here. UL, you've probably seen him in your draft room. 3593. Kyler at 87. Drake May at 159. Bryce Young at 207. Bijan at 10. Taylor 15. Warren, Singletary, and Frank Gore Jr. I remember that click from like, man, probably like the first
Yeah,
week before I
early.
really before I really even started watching his tape all that much. And I was like, maybe we'll come off of it.
Yeah, and that was one of those people where you think that they're getting drafted just because Frank Gore Jr., you know?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. DK Drake London at 39, which is still very nice. JSN, Watson, Marquise Brown at 111, Worthy at 135, Walker, Mingo, Javon Baker. It's a solid team.
Oh, yeah.
This is a solid one. He has the correlation with McBride in Arizona. See if he gets lucky with maybe one of these rookies as well. Drake May, potential to go to, I think the highest odds right now are the Pats and Washington.
Yeah, the Drake Mace situation's weird right now because I mean Daniels was like
Very.
minus 300 to go to the Commanders like 2 days ago, and then today I think him and Drake May have the same odds to go second overall.
Yeah. And I'm going to try to do something for the draft day one, at least on the live stream. So we'll see if we can get something going. You guys can watch me suffer through pick 3. We'll probably trade out
Yeah,
for Max Payne. But this is a solid team. I would give this around like an 86, 87. Doesn't have a crazy amount of closing line value at receiver. You have some hits, and then you have some guys that have fallen as well. Drake London anywhere
yeah, that's
25 and up is great.
yeah because this has Drake London with Bijan too. I think so. It's pretty nice.
And
I mean,
Bijan at 10.
you're not getting that with Jonathan Taylor anymore. You know.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Those later drafts, you had to find a way to sort of get an advantage over the early drafters, whether that was taking JSN maybe at 90, like getting different combinations than the early drafters. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the tight end room here is sick. It's a fun one.
Really good. Yeah, I like that one too.
Good draft by Dave. Kmak in the house. This one he did on stream back in March 25th, 3782. T-Lot and JJ with Sam Darnold Duck. My God.
I don't hate Sam Darnold necessarily. I mean, I think it depends on who they bring in, but I've taken some Sam Darnold, I think.
It's probably not the worst backup that you could have, especially if you're leaning into maybe some of those Minnesota pass catchers. I sort of relate it to Indy, right? Where Joe Flacco is the backup. And I mean, Sam Darnold has not proven he can put up Flacco numbers.
Yeah.
But it's at least a decent backup that could dish out the ball to someone like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Jacobs, White, Sharbs, Marshawn Lloyd, Gibson at 176, Shipley, Tank Bigsby. Just a solid running back room.
Yeah,
Just
I
a
think I
solid running back room.
have a lot of running back rooms that look like that with some of those late guys.
In this Jacobs click, it seems like he was still rising at this point. This looks like he was already getting that Green Bay steam, but he hadn't fully settled at his high ADP, which we can peek here is 28. So he ends up rising 10 picks, and he was going in the Aaron Jones range, I believe.
Yeah, and it's a good value on Rachaad White too. Like I don't take a lot of him, but at 56, it's pretty good.
56,
value.
you have to click him.
Yeah,
You have to click him.
you're not going to click him there, then you're not ever going to.
Right, you can have 0%, and he comes in as the second running back, which that's really nice. Yeah, so solid running back room. QBs, let's see where JJ lands. Like JJ could actually end up in Minnesota, then you'd be handcuffing yourself.
Yeah, at least you get one of them.
But JJ, Justin Jefferson here, Garrett Wilson, Mike Evans at 32, Addison, Worthy at 104, Gabe Davis, Leggett, Jermaine Burton. So this draft was done later into the season, but he still managed to do a great job at drafting his team.
Really good tight end room too.
Yeah, Ingram and Bowers, I would consider that double elite.
Yeah, that's a really good team. I like that team a lot. I mean, you're just gonna have to get lucky, I guess, with one of the quarterbacks. But other
It's
than
it's
that,
it's
yeah.
tough to sell Sam Darnold as the starter. Like now, Justin Jefferson at 8. Like yeah, I'm clicking him at 8 every single time.
Mm-hmm. And Garrett
JJ,
Wilson at 17. Like that's pretty good combo.
that's true. The best landing spot for McCarthy too is most from a fantasy football standpoint, in my opinion, right now is Minnesota, right?
Yeah, I think he's not going to go somewhere that has better weapons than Minnesota. So if you're thinking of what can help him reach his ceiling, like he has Aaron Jones at running back and he has Jefferson and Addison to throw the ball to. It's pretty good setup.
It's the dream. It's the
Yeah.
dream landing spot. Let's hit. So Alpha sent me 5. We're gonna go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We'll stop here. 2882. Tua and Trevor Lawrence. Are you good with that pairing in a 20-round draft?
I think it depends. Like, I'd probably want to have one more, but you never know how the draft goes. Like, I've had plenty of times where you want to add another one, and then just like Derek Carr goes 10 picks early or something like
Right,
that. Yeah,
right. It's always when you want to add one of those last
exactly.
5 guys that's the time they go.
Yeah.
It's funny, but in the 20-round drafts, later into the draft season, I think this combo right here would be an interesting spot to try to bring in Justin Fields at 170 to at
Yeah.
least maybe have the potential of a rushing upside QB in the playoffs and in, obviously the championship week. But where
Yeah.
you have 2 pocket passers and you're not overspending by bringing in that third, I think this is a combo that actually made a lot of sense. Harris, Ford, McLaughlin, Algier, Rashawn Johnson. So this was done later in the year. You can see Rashawn at 172.
Mhm.
Zeke, Damian Pierce, and AJ Dillon. Classic. It's a 0 RB build.
Yeah.
I mean, he enters with Harris as his first RB at pick 93, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. And then,
Definitely needed 8 though.
yeah, there's a lot of guys where you can see them having touches, and you could also see them not having a lot of touches.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Run, Jaleel McLaughlin, like, I don't know. They could have really, like, increased roles, but they could
Mhm.
also not.
And I like using Jerome Ford as sort of a piece to bridge the gap between rookies, maybe starting slow, where you think Jerome Ford is going to have a faster start, and this is something you guys can use in BBM5. I would like to see a couple rookies on the back end, even like a Will Shipley or like Braylon Allen, someone in that 150 plus range, as like you're going 0 RB basically.
Yeah.
So,
Because you
but
never know where one of them's like a rookie's going to land. At least right now, we don't
but
know.
and Zeke, man, the chance that I mean, I think the steam's come down a little bit, but
Yeah.
if he ends up in Dallas, he won't be worth a whole lot more than 196. He'll probably go in like the 170 range, but
Yeah. I just don't see him going to Dallas, but I could be wrong.
it'd be wild. All right, so the Tua team, he has Hill, Devontae Adams, Waddle. He's got that Miami double, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Higgins, Chris Godwin, Gabe Davis, Devontae Walker, Malik Washington, and then double elite tight end again.
I found myself doing more of the double elite tight end this year. Just there's a lot of the price tag on him is also a lot lower than it was last year. Like Kelsey
Yeah.
going at like 5 or 6 last year versus the first tight end going in the 30s.
Right.
It makes it a lot easier to get 2 tight ends early and not be behind everywhere else.
Right. And I think he enters, yeah, and Ingram's like the perfect like second tight end for that range. You could use Bowers as well.
Yeah.
But I agree that the double it's not like last year where, like you said, Kelsey at 5 or 6, and then you're going Mark Andrews on the 2-3 turn. It's
Yeah.
not that expensive. So you can still get 2 elite tight ends, and it's not the classic like, oh, he went double elite. Like that's gross.
Yeah, you can still get 4 receivers through the first like 4 rounds and end up with 2 elite tight ends.
Kev says he's definitely traumatized as a Jets fan from him seeing ghosts. Oh man, that game I think ruined him. That game ruined him. J Dub's in the house. second team pick whatever. We'll go off the first. Josh Allen, Geno Smith at 190. James Cook, Montgomery, Joe Mixon at 94. We love this. We love this. I think this was right around the time that Matthew Berry was like, hey, there's rumblings that Joe Mixon is leaving.
Yeah.
And he had to come out because he was being attacked and say basically like, there's a chance it's false. It was like combine talk. It happened.
And he got the better spot, arguably.
People panicked, and then he gets the Houston landing spot.
Yeah.
So this is 94 sick. Javonte Williams, Zach Moss at 171.
Yeah. That's nice.
Oh, we didn't grade the last one. I think for the time it was being drafted at, I'd give it like a 91.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember everyone that was on that team, but I do remember it being a good squad.
2882 double elite.
Oh yeah,
The double with Miami.
Yeah, just running back room scares me a little bit, but
you gotta lean in.
Yeah.
Goddard, Kmak, Henry, Lamb, Olave. So this is very balanced as well. You don't have any pairing with Josh Allen, and I think you're hoping basically for a rookie.
Johnny Wilson catching passes from Josh Allen would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Throw it up.
That works.
You can throw it 80 yards down the field.
Malik Washington, same thing. I mean, anyone catching passes from Josh Allen is going to be a good thing, especially when they lose Diggs.
Yeah.
But he's got James Cook, so it's a different combination. It's probably less owned, which is nice for the playoffs. He grows and grabs his rookies with his basically 2 of his last 3 picks in the draft, which is good. I'm trying to figure out when this was drafted. Gabe Davis at 147. So I want to say this was pre-Jacksonville news.
Did he come up after he went to Jacksonville?
Yeah. Yeah, he rose up to, where did he finish off? He rose up about 30 spots. So nice little closing line value there.
Yeah.
But not a ton elsewhere besides Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, that is a sick one.
Yeah.
And Moss. Moss.
Running back room is really nice.
And I don't think, like, Josh Allen, you don't need to overstack him. Like, he can get there on the ground. He can get there with the rushing touchdowns. He has James Cook, which is a fun pairing. Goddard, Kmet, and Henry. I'd give this team like an 88.
Yeah. No, this
solid
is
B+.
Just the running back room alone. Like, you think that's probably got to be the running back hitting your flex every week type of room.
Crushing. And then having 4 receivers by the Godwin tier, which I like. Judy I'm off of, but Judy at 142s, I think okay to mix in. Gabe Davis is a nice hit based on closing line value. And then New England, maybe for a little New England Buffalo matchup. It's a sick one.
Yeah.
Omega didn't send me one. Nap, I don't think, sent me one. Jeff's first big board. This will be fun. Jordan Love at 83. So on Jordan Love early. Jaden Daniels at 158. He started at 173. May at 179. Started at 181. This is already sick. Gibbs at 11. Bijan at 14.
Crazy.
Oh, dear. Chuba, Ty Chandler. So really did great for how early it was in the offseason.
All of it so far.
These first 8 picks. Marvin Harrison at 35. Anybody? Devonta Smith pairs Reed with Love. Dunze at 62. D-Hop at 86, which, I mean, even when Ridley went to Tennessee, he didn't fall past 86. So that's impressive. Ladd at 155. Oh, you like this team now.
Well, this team is the first 5 receivers is really cool to see. Just like the pairing. And then with Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan, it's kind of crazy.
Douglas at 182. It's just closing line value pick after closing line value pick. Yeah. Josh Reynolds, who's live. We could say that. Cedric Tillman. Probably not live, but
Yeah,
a
he
live.
seems like a pretty good prospect last year, but just didn't really do anything the rest
Yeah,
or the year.
right. And now they bring in Judy. It's
Yeah,
just not looking the best for him. But again, last round click, you really don't know. Bowers, Mayer, and Sanders.
yeah.
Bowers at 107, Mayer at 203.
I think this is the best one so far.
This has to be high 90s.
Yeah, it's
This
got
has to be high
like
90s.
97, 98.
I was thinking 90. Let's go
90,
98. Let's go 98. This is a gross one. This
yeah.
is a Bijan at 14 alone, and then hitting on almost every single pick.
The
You
first
can't.
the first 5 wide receivers is crazy to have 2 elite running backs with that too.
Disgusting. If this
Yeah.
team makes it to the finals, he's gonna be cooking. He's gonna be
And
cooking with
even like
love.
Daniels at 158 and May at 179.
J Dubs wants a 98 for it too. Yeah, if you guys want to throw out numbers, go ahead. Go ahead. I can't. Let the chat cook. I want to see some crazy numbers from you guys.
That one
Shock
was
sent me 4. I'm just gonna go with the first one because it's treated us well so far. Lamar at 43, who I still like Lamar at ADP, and he's fallen since
yeah,
contest open.
he's going at like I've seen him go in like the late 40s. I saw him go in the 5th round earlier today. It's
He's my
crazy.
second highest owned QB, and honestly, for the big board or Best Ball Mania, I should say, I won't be surprised if he's my highest owned QB.
Yeah, I've been taking a lot more of the elite tight end this year or the elite quarterback this year. It just feels
Yeah,
so nice getting them in the 4th round. Like that's the price that it's hard to say no to.
especially where you're looking for certainty in a contest like the big board, and even towards the middle of the contest, towards the end of the fill rate, the elite QBs, as the price of the middle QBs came up, like Kyler, Caleb, some of these guys, as they rose, the elite QBs falling, that really gravitated me towards drafting more elite QBs towards the back end.
Yeah, and even like with Josh Allen, he's fallen probably like 10 spots since Diggs left.
Right.
That's it. I mean, you're getting him at like 35, 36 every now and then. So at that point, I'm clicking him like every time.
Have to. You have to, like, we saw Diggs do nothing for the last 7 games, basically. He might have had one good game in there, but
And
he was
Josh,
like wide receiver 27 on the second half of the season.
yeah, crazy. Still take
Uh,
him.
Kyron at 19, which is sick. Barkley at 30. Jacobs at 67. Singletary at 139. I mean, we can forgive the Fields at 102.
Yeah.
And when you get these guys, even Kyron at 19, it's like such disrespect. Now that we've seen them not add anyone, especially in free agency, you have to like this a little more at 19.
Yeah, I still think that there's a chance they bring someone in the draft, but I think Kyron's done enough to, secure his spot. But I still feel if they brought in someone like Marshawn Lloyd or someone who has like a little bit more juice than Kyron, that could eat some touches. But I said that last year, so I didn't think he was gonna.
Well, yeah, no, dude, some of the best analysts were on Cam Akers and what he did those last 4 games. I
Oh
still
yeah,
remember. Still
yeah,
remembers over 100 yards on the
and
ground in 3 games, and then rushing yards and receiving in the 4th game.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
digress.
thought we had it figured out.
Chase at 6, McLaurin at 54, Dobbs, Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams at 126, Michael Wilson, Trey Palmer. So the receivers not as sexy, not
Yeah,
as sexy, and then the tight ends not as sexy. But I do appreciate a little Danny Bellinger click here. We
yeah,
can show some love for that. I'm okay with the 4 tight ends where he started at 163.
yeah,
I do it with a fraction of my drafts, like 1 or 2% of my drafts will have 4 tight ends, and this would be like what it would look like. Is likely he's pairing likely with Lamar. We'll see if he gets on the field more than just when Andrews is hurt. Hunter Henry at 198 is really nice.
Yeah. I had
but
a four.
Flip-flopped.
I did a 4 tight end build earlier today with my first tight end being Michael Mayer. So it's like once you get in that range and you have 20 rounds, you feel like it makes sense to take a 4th one.
Just the running backs here alone, I feel like I can't go lower than a B. I can't go lower than like an 84, 85.
Yeah, the receivers scare me a bit, but
the receivers, Dobbs, Sutton as wide receiver 4 and 3 and 4. I still think this team could easily advance just with the RB room with Lamar, Burrow. You have Fields at 102, which is, that loses some of the closing line value, but Mike Williams at 126. Where did Mike Williams end up?
He's like 99 or something.
93. So
that's nice though.
Yeah, and then Michael Wilson should provide some sort of floor you would expect.
Yeah.
Give it 84. Yeah, I'll go 84 on it.
I can get behind that.
All right. Chez. Open in browser. Lamar 45, Kirk Cousins at 124. So this is post Atlanta news.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth Walker 69, Aaron Jones at 76, Pollard 93, Kendrick Miller at 165. Disrespect. Miles Sanders at 196, Tank Bigsby at 237. I like the RB room.
Yeah, me too. It's,
solid.
I mean, it's not like super exciting, but it's like definitely works.
You have your guaranteed touches. Well, you hope with K-Walk, Aaron Jones, and Tony Pollard, and then you have some handcuffs and
or some guy you hope that can get some playing time.
Chase, London, Samuel, Mike Williams, Ladd McConkey, Joshua Palmer, Douglas, Wan'Dale Robinson, Javon Baker. So have to grade it differently. Like teams that were drafted later in the offseason, they have to be graded differently. So knowing like London, his ADP was 19.5. So getting him a little after ADP is nice. Although we know what his old ADP was. And we know what those teams look like. And they're disgusting. Palmer seems to be like after the Quentin Johnson news, if I was playing just cash games and not this tournament format, Palmer would be one of my main targets in the contest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where it's just weeks 1 through 17, each one is weighted the exact same. And Palmer right now, in my opinion, wide receiver 1 on the team. Obviously, we expect them to add to it, but even if they add a rookie, Palmer should still have a relatively quick start.
Yeah, I mean, and he was playing over Quentin Johnson last year, so you would think that that's still the case this year.
Exactly. Palmer, Douglas, Wan'Dale, Javon Baker, Andrews, Pat Fryermuth, and Kraft. I'm cool with the 3 tight ends here. I don't think that's overkill in a 20-round draft. Yeah. It's a super balanced team. It's got Ladd on it, so I'm curious what you'll get.
I was going to say this is like an 88, 89. I mean, it's I guess you're saying, like, for it being a draft that happened recently, it's really good, but it's not like you obviously have Drake London in the 2nd round versus some drafts in the 5th round. Like, but for where it's been drafted, I think it's a really good team.
Yeah, correlating Kirk Cousins. He's got the single stack with London, Lamar with Andrews. I'll probably give it like mid 80s. Yeah, fourth receiver off the board, Mike Williams. I mean, it's strong. It's just a well-balanced team.
Yeah, I agree.
Ben's favorite team. Kyler Murray at 96, Kirk Cousins at 144. So this is pre-Kirk Cousins news to Atlanta. Deshaun Watson 168. 3 QBs. This is, I think that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
If Deshaun Watson comes out and plays like he did when he was last healthy, you're going to need 3 QBs.
Oh, yeah.
CMC, Achane at 25. That's awesome. Stevenson at 73, Chase Brown at 120, Marshawn Lloyd at 192. I really like the RB room here.
Yeah.
No picks wasted.
Well, yeah, when was this? Was from a while ago, I guess, right?
This had to be early March or even February.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd at 192. Marvin Harrison at 24, Amari Cooper 48. Drake London at 49. Again, the pre-Kirk Cousins news. So lucking into this pairing is impressive.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, Josh Downs, Ladd McConkey at 145. My boy Roman Wilson, 216. My boy Ricky Pearsall at 217. This is some crazy closing line value here. 3 clicks in a row. Even Josh Downs. A few picks. Half round.
I got ahead of myself and looked at the tight ends.
The tight ends are nasty. McBride at 72.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry at 169. And Mayer at 193. This is high. This is a high one.
That one is close to the one we had earlier.
This has to be just as good. This has to be just as good.
I was gonna say, I thought just from the receiver's point of view that it was probably slightly not as good. Just like with the values that I guess this one is different because it has values in the 200s, and the other one was different because it had values in the, like early rounds too.
I think because he lucked into the Drake London pairing too with Kirk at his old ADP, at Drake London's old ADP, and then hitting on Roman Wilson, Ricky Pearsall, Ladd McConkey, who are 3 of my favorite rookies in this class.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta give this a 98.
Yeah, I think that's right.
98, 99. This is like near perfect. Oh, this is a sick one.
Yeah.
Crispy sauce. What do you say? Saw your message live stream. This gotta be one of my favorites. Number 30, he said. Mahomes at 41, Kyler and Geno Smith. The pairing is nice. Would you add Geno to this Mahomes Kyler group?
Probably not, but if it's not a wasted pick, I don't think it matters. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't think it's needed, but Bijan at 8, Mostert at 104, Zamir White 128, Bucky Irving 152, Zach Moss 161, Miles Sanders at 200. Just solid.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Marvin Harrison at 17, Drake London at 32. Already getting ahead of that. Ooh, my bad. Getting ahead of that rise. It looks like he was going at 43 and he's reaching up at 32. I think that's sharp. Still got plenty of closing line value.
For sure.
I'm settling at 16. Pickens at 56. Christian Kirk at 65. Marquise Brown at 113.
With Mahomes. In like the 50s.
Yeah, he ended at 58 with Mahomes. Good note. Shaheed, Moore, and Reynolds. Not crazy about the last 2, but you could definitely get by with this group.
Yeah, pretty good hits on the first 5, just from a value standpoint.
Right, and then your spike week guy, Rashid Shaheed, and we'll see what maybe Reynolds becomes a decent option, but not typically the high ceiling guy that we're looking for at the end of drafts.
Yeah, there's not many. I don't really know. There's not a lot of competition on that Denver receiver depth chart, though.
Right.
So could have a role.
Yeah, Sutton. Yeah, we'll see what they do in the draft too.
Yeah,
I think they would have to add somebody in this class, if not 2.
Well, it's just such a deep class too. So
Njoku, Fant, and Noah Gray. The Noah Gray click early was always for me. It was a little bit of a question mark because you just always assumed that if Kelsey wasn't coming back, like they're going to bring someone else in. But Njoku and Fant was the fun click. I think we're on the same page here. Fant was more of a fun click before we knew he was returning to Seattle.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there were definitely, you can make up situations where if he left Seattle and went somewhere like, if the Bengals signed him instead of Gesicki.
Right, exactly. but still 2 rounds of value on Noah Fant is fine. He's still a decent click at his ADP. It's just not you don't have that
Crazy. Yeah.
chance of a great landing spot. Let's see if Al sent me one. He did not. So we can switch over to the Twitter machine submissions. Let's pull this up here. All right. Seth, drop this one in the comments. Let me see if this is big enough or we can make it bigger. I don't think that's even making it bigger. Big fail. A-Rich, Joe Burrow, JT, Mostert, Benson at 113. So this is later in the draft season.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome Ford at 137, Marshawn Lloyd at 161, Antonio Gibson 185, Dylan Labe. He's like the meme right now. He's like the meme.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where I can't tell if people are drafting him because they think that there's a role for him or if they're kind of drafting him as a joke. But I haven't really taken much. But
it's like the Deuce Vaughn click from last year. That's how I'm sort of looking at it. You're hoping for him to be like his ceiling this season is like what Antonio Gibson was last year. Like that's sort of how I view him.
Yeah, I don't see a scenario where he's on the field for a lot of snaps, but I could be wrong.
I agree, and even if he is, like, what are you getting? Are you getting 4 catches for 38 yards and 2 carries for 16? It's just what are you getting with it?
Yeah.
Chase, Michael Pittman Jr., T. Higgins, George Pickens, J-Mo, Marvin Mims, Brendan Rice, Alec Pierce. I don't see any crazy closing line value in here, but 4 receivers by Pickens adds J-Mo, Marvin Mims. Like it's a solid group. Yeah. I would like one more guy on the back here that
maybe
provides some sort of floor.
Yeah, instead of maybe Dylan Lobb or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, adding another receiver to this group because I'm cool with you. Right. JT, Mostert, Benson, Ford, Marshawn Lloyd, and Gibson. Like Gibson already is what you're looking for from Dylan.
Yeah, shown that he can do it already. Well, kind of.
Schultz, Sanders, and Fant. This grouping's fine. Not the strongest at tight end, but I think that's, the draft capital is good.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Maybe a little weak at receiver, but there's a world in which this can definitely work, right? If you get a good landing spot for Brendan Rice and maybe Mims takes a jump, maybe J-Mo takes the jump, and this very easily could work.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a scenario where both of them take a step forward this year. So
the double with Burrows also, it's super fun.
Yeah. I'm not as sold on that double, but I don't know. It's just hard for it to hit in the same week, but I guess when it does hit, it really does hit. But,
it does.
Yeah.
It definitely does. A couple of years ago, I think it was 2 at this point, came in 3rd in Al Smizzle's DK contest, his little private $10 3-entry draft with a Joe Burrow double. So always have love for that double. Vinny D in the house. Joe Burrow with Kirk Cousins at 161. ADP of 136. Bijan at 8. Taylor at 17. Derrick Henry at 65. First Derrick Henry share we've seen.
Nice.
Najee 89. Joe Mixon at 104. Pittman, T. Higgs, Calvin Ridley, Johnson at 113. Dotson, Gabe Davis, Quentin Johnson. Yeah, this is like, give me receivers, give me spike week guys, give me like quantity. So when the other guys fail, like someone else can take his spot. I like this team. And then Deontay Johnson, we think is like that floor guy to help you with the Gabe Davises, the Quentin Johnsons, the Mims. So I like the way he used.
And Deontay at 113 is pretty good value versus where he's going now.
Very good.
He's like 71 or something.
71. Yeah. K-Dot and Chiggy and Knox definitely needed a little help at tight end here.
Yeah.
So QBs, I think it's passable, especially where you're getting Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins.
Definitely.
Running back, crushed it.
Yeah.
Receivers, I like it. I like it a lot. Tight ends.
Yeah. I
Those are
found
tough.
myself like if I'm gonna be weak at one position, it's gonna be tight end.
Okay. See,
But
I'm if I'm gonna be weak in one position, I want it to be running back. I want it to be
yeah,
running back.
yeah, I just think that you can get some pretty good values. Like at the end of the draft, you're looking for guys that can score touchdowns. Like
Yeah.
Dawson Knox could score a touchdown any week and hit your lineup. But
Joe Mixon at 104 too. So like Vinny was very smart by stopping here at these 5 running backs.
oh yeah,
Really leaning into the draft capital spent here. Gets a fallen player with Kirk Cousins at position of need. It's not correlated. There's no rookies on this team,
oh yeah,
but he has Bijan with the correlation with Kirk, Joe Burrow with T Higgs.
mm-hmm.
I wonder if this was pre Gesicki news, because Gesicki for Okonkwo, and I would even like this a lot more.
Yeah, definitely.
But still, I'm giving this probably 86, 87, like crushed.
The running back makes it almost
Crushed it running back.
yeah.
All right. Got to start picking it up here. Want to get through all of them. King of Kings, Pounder, Frank in the live chat. Jordan Love, Tua, Russell Wilson, Achane 15, Jacobs at 58, Aaron Jones, Ford, Justice Hill, Vidal. Frank was on Vidal very early.
Yeah, definitely.
This looks like AJ Brown, Pittman, Drake London at 39, Marquise Brown at 111, Cooks, Quentin Johnson, Trey Palmer with Ingram, Musgrave, and Juwan Johnson. A 3-6-7-4 build.
Yeah, I could probably move one of the tight ends and have another receiver, but other than
I
that,
see Hunter Henry down here as well.
yeah.
Yep, I agree. Didn't need the 4th tight end. Add one more receiver, 3-6-8-3, and you're probably liking this a lot more.
Yeah, but I still like just the Jacobs value. Like that's one person that I missed out on, and I wish I had more.
Same. It's because I was clicking Aaron Jones, the rightful owner to the Green Bay backfield touches. It's sensitive subject. Mahomes. Oh, Frank. That's gotta look at it. I'm gonna give Frank an 83. I think it could have been a little better with the 4th tight end being a receiver, but other than that, I'm not changing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Ingram, Musgrave, and Juwan Johnson, like you're good there. You're good there at the 1Z position.
Yeah, agreed.
Best baller, Phillip, Mahomes, and Bryce Young. I'm cool with just leaning into this pairing.
Yeah.
Jacobs at 64, smoked it. Montgomery at 88, Jerome Ford at 153, Benson at 160. Let's go. McLaughlin at 184, Tank Bigsby and Israel Benakanda.
Yeah.
I love that group. That group. Amon-Ra at 9, DJ Moore 16, DK at 33, Terry 57, Deontay Johnson at 112, Judy at 129, Josh Downs at 136. Whoa. Man, this room must have been the Downs fading room.
Yeah.
Where's the A-Rich drafter? Mingo at 177 and Roman Wilson at 232 with Kittle and Pitts at 105.
This is one of the best ones we've seen too. This
is a sick one.
Upper 90s, I would say.
What do you want to hit it with? What's the price tag?
95, just because maybe quarterback
95.
a little stronger, but
stamp.
I like that one.
Best baller. Crushed it. 777. Arg. Enough. D Martyr 1987. Tua, Drake May, and Russell Wilson. This looks like it is post Fields news with the 204 ADP. Achane Henry at 68. Mostert, Jonathan Brooks at 140. Zach Moss at 164. And Zeke. I like this group.
Yeah, that's a great room.
betting on Miami with, the double stack with Mostert and Achane with
I've
Tua.
done it a couple times too. I don't mind
It's
it.
if the crowd is fading against it, and we've seen it work multiple times last
Yeah,
year, probably
and
should be mixing it in.
Henry at 68. Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Henry at 68.
yeah,
He's got the Tua with Tyreek Hill and Waddle, so 4 of them really just leaning into the whole offense.
yeah,
Drake London at 44, Addison at 53, Deontay Johnson at 116, Dotson at 125, Curtis Samuel at 173.
yeah,
Curtis ends up at 96.6, which is way too high, but
yeah.
that's where he was teamed up to.
That's crazy.
Cowing at 238 with Pitts at 101,
Wow,
Conklin and Jonnu Smith.
it's another really good one.
Damn. Last round Jonnu stack with Tua. He's got the whole Miami team, only missing the linebackers.
Yeah,
Oh, shit. With Zach Moss at 164. This
that
has
one's
to be
good.
in the 96, 97 range.
Yeah,
Oh my, put a 97 on it.
there's been some really good teams tonight.
J-Dub says looking like a 92. Am I being generous? But this is just like Drake London at 44 is very early in. Deontay Johnson's a big one. Curtis Samuel we're
Yeah,
talking 76 picks of value. Pitts, this is another 40. 38. You have how many picks on Derrick Henry, on Brooks even at 140, and Zach Moss.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Moss at 164. This is another 56 picks. Crushed it. He crushed it. Steph submitted 3. We'll cover the first one. Jalen Hurts at 44. I think we picked a good one. With Tua, Devon Achane at 20, Chuba Hubbard at 125, McLaughlin at 140, Ty Chandler at 149, Object Estimate at 188. So this looks like it's a later draft.
Mm-hmm.
Foreman and Dylan Labe. I'm not overly crazy about the running back room. You have Achane, who's going to really provide a nice spike week potential for you in the playoffs, and then you're hoping for one of these other guys to have a spike week.
Yeah,
She loves McLaughlin. I think it's her highest owned RB, so really leaning into McLaughlin.
Yeah, I found myself, if I have Achane, wanting to get another early running back too, just because you're investing a lot for the spike week of Achane, but there's going to be weeks where he doesn't spike. So having another high end running back to help you get there is nice too.
I like that point. Tua with the Waddle, with Hill, Christian Kirk at 53, Chris Godwin at 68, Hopkins at 77, Ricky Pearsall at 164, Jermaine Burton 197, Jalen McMillan at 212. Love the receiver room.
Yeah.
Love the receiver room. Ferguson, Goddard, and Jonnu Smith. Yeah, it's a strong team. One more running back in maybe the Hopkins range.
Yeah.
But again, this is like looking back. It's in hindsight. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. Or doesn't Jameis say hindsight's 50-50? Isn't that what he said?
Oh my God. I just saw his video of him fishing on the boat, interviewing the fish that they caught. Crazy. That man's wild.
He's awesome.
This is a solid draft by Steph. I mean, Hurts and Tua crushed it, I believe, at tight end, matching Goddard with Hurts. Got the triple stack or quad stack with Jonnu, Hill, Waddle, and Achane. I'll give this a 90. I think it's right on the fringe 89-90 range.
Yeah.
I love the receivers.
Yeah, it's definitely a 0 RB type of team.
And this was drafted later in the offseason too.
Yeah. Some good I like Audric Estime at that price too.
Yeah, and he fell really from what, like 150? So getting him at a better price in the early drafters is one way to leverage the early drafters. Paul, I was inverted, always sharp. Kyler Murray at 83, Drake May at 131, Aaron Rodgers at 134, Bijan at 11, Stevenson at 86, Javonte Williams at 110, Estime 155, Jalen Wright at 203.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this has to be early, but
Not
not
super early.
too early because the May ADP adjusted.
Yeah.
Israel Banaconda with Garrett Wilson, Waddle, Drake London 38, JSN, Marquise Brown, Wandale, Brendan Rice, Parker Washington, which I still don't mind that click today.
Mm-hmm.
Kittle, Kraft, and Conklin.
I like it. It's not like overly strong anywhere, but it's not weak anywhere either.
Right. It's a well-balanced team, which is not a bad thing. He definitely has some closing line value with Drake London, with Marquise Brown, even Garrett Wilson at 14's
Yeah.
nice with Bijan.
Yeah.
Jalen Wright at 203 is sick. And then Paul's just really good at getting correlation as well. Like he has the Jets triple. I mean, between Conklin, Wilson, we'll count Israel Banaconda. We'll give him that. We'll give him that.
Yeah.
Just good correlation all around. Give Paul this probably in the 91 range.
Mm-hmm.
It's an A-. It's a really well balanced squad. He can teach a masterclass on that. Dude, Nick submits this Baker Mayfield Geno Smith team. This dude drafted 150, basically drafted, I think, 135 plus drafts by the combine. And he sends me a Baker Mayfield Geno Smith squad.
That's funny.
And he says that wide receiver room, though. So we'll take a peek. Brian Robinson at 83, Swift at 86. Hubbard at 110, White at 131, Ford 134, Dobbins 206, Ray Davis at 227. On him,
Nice.
He's on him early and often. AJ Brown at 11, DJ Moore at 14, DK at 35, Waddle at 38, London at 59. That's the latest I've seen him go.
That's insane.
That's the latest I've seen him go. Terry, the receiver room, having 6 receivers by Terry.
Stop there.
It's strong. It's strong. Of course, he adds Michael Wilson into this group, but Ricky Pearsall at 230 to add on is awesome. Goddard, Jonnu, and Chiggy's okay. I mean, at that point, you're hoping you get some sort of correlate. How do you win the finals, though, with this team?
Geno to DK. Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you can tell he's being boxed. He's being boxed at QB.
Yeah.
And early into the competition, too, like early into the big board opening, everyone was still in the mindset that I need 6 quarterbacks because everyone got hurt last year.
Yeah.
Which you shouldn't be basing it off of last year. So early on, QBs were flying off the board.
That's one thing that I've had to pay more attention to lately because it's still happening. Like people taking 5 tight ends or 5 quarterbacks, and then you find yourself looking at nothing.
It'll happen in Bestball Mania 5 too, because people are going to be used to 20-round drafts.
Yeah.
But if you guys are just joining us, go down, slap the like, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. We're going to have plenty of Bestball Mania content as well as high-stakes drafts coming this summer. Omega with Caleb at 132, Baker at 156, Geno at 204. Okay. Good value on Genes even.
Yeah.
Gibbs. Rashad White at 61.
Nice.
That's crazy. And again, early into the offseason free agency, they could have added another running back, but they didn't. So I think towards the end of the draft, towards the end of the fill rate of Big Board, I was adding more Rashad White.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon at 108, Monster at 109, Zeke and AJ Dillon. This group is awesome.
Yeah.
This group is awesome. White at 61, Joe Mixon at 108, and Mostert could have stopped at 4. You know what I mean? Looking back, obviously.
That too.
DJ Moore at 13, Waddle at 36. Love that. T. Higgins 37, Addison at 60, J-Mo at 84, Troy Franklin at 85. So really just going and getting his guys. Ricky Pearsall at 157, Palmer at 180, and then my guy, here he is, finally. Finally, we got a Darnell Mooney drafter here. It's not at 237, it's not at 238, but we'll accept 205.
Yeah.
It looks like just Kmak and Hunter Henry, though. Would have liked this a lot more if it had one more tight end.
Yeah.
Leaning into Chicago with Kmet and Caleb, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Even if this just had Fant too to pair with Gino.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it still. Like, there's definitely a world where Kmet and Henry can get you there. But, knowing what we know now, obviously, you probably don't need, like,
AJ Dillon.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon. Or, yeah, because Trey Palmer is correlated, so I'm cool with that click.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's hit Dennis, a.k.a. Toast0420. Justin Herbert, Caleb, and Rogers. Rogers at 155. This is early because Justin Herbert going at pick 92. So he probably still had his receivers on his team at this point.
Yep.
Nick is the best drafter from Dennis, giving some love. ETN at 38, Josh Jacobs at 59, Derrick Henry at 62.
Nice.
Honestly, all three of those are smashes.
Yeah.
Rashad at 134 and Frank Gore. Well, he's going to need all three of those to be smashes, it looks like.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson at 11, DJ Moore at 14, Keenan Allen at 35, J-Mo 86, Malik, Brendan Rice, Luke McCaffrey. See, this is I made a comment earlier. I know Dennis has better drafts than this because I've seen them. This team, I'd probably give it a C. I'd give it like a 70, 76. I'm just maybe more for player takes on this one. Because, okay, so like Rashawn Johnson, we didn't know he was going. We didn't know that Swift was coming in.
Yeah.
So without that, it would obviously be rated. It would be rated higher. So if you take the time box of when it was drafted, I probably still want one more running back, but it does lean into a little bit of Frank Gore, which is fine. I'm cool with leaning into being right, especially at running back.
I guess this looks like maybe he thought that Keenan Allen was still going to be on the Chargers because he's got Justin Herbert.
Yep.
So.
Yep. But he's got Caleb, so he ends up with the double still.
No, that's funny.
That's a crazy way to get the double.
Yeah.
A lot of fallers, but I think it's more just player takes. Like I'm sort of off J-Mo, especially at his price. I'm off Wicks at his old price, and maybe even his new price. But tight ends, are you okay with the Michael Mayer, Conklin, and Kraft?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a strong room, but I think you can get by with it. That's how I would say it. Like, I'm not going to be celebrating that, but it's going to be okay.
He says my other team is better. We know, Dennis. We know. You're just trying to come in here, pretend like you never played poker before, and then say, let's go heads up for everything in your bank account. That's the tactics. Johnny Footballs. Goff at 105 with Kirk at 112. Brees Hall at 9. James Cook at 40. Najee Harris at 88. Ty Chandler at 160. Zeke and Dylan Labe. So far, it's pretty well balanced. I mean, 3 running backs by Harris. You're going to have a good base of guaranteed touches. Drake London at 16. Marquise Brown at 57. AD at 81. Troy Franklin at 129. Palmer at 136, which I think actually fits this team really well. Darnell Mooney at 153. Douglas at 177. Blake Washington, Mac Hollins, and DPJ getting some love with the Goff stack. They didn't really use him at all last year, but maybe the offseason will change that a little bit.
A training camp.
And then Laporte and Pitts, so double elite tight end. I don't.
It's the receivers that.
Yeah. Tough.
It's hard to have AD as your third receiver.
Wide receiver 3.
Yeah. And even Marquise as the second receiver is kind of tough.
I agree. But the Palmer click makes sense. The Douglas pick makes sense. Mooney even pairing that with London, Pitts, and Cousins.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some good thought process here. And I like when I'm going rookies early, or if I know I'm going to tag 4 or 5 rookies late at receiver, I like those floor guys like Palmer. I don't know if we could really put Mooney in that conversation at 153, but I'm comfortable with Palmer at 136 or.
Yeah, for sure.
Mooney's old ADP. But yeah, it's definitely leaning into that 0 wide receiver.
Yeah. Which I don't hate it. So
I don't hate it as long as I am not weak at multiple positions, and I think
yeah.
we're weak at QB as well. I
Yeah.
probably in the middle to end of the draft room with Goff and Cousins, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
But a fun one. I mean, those teams are always fun to look at. It's a complete different strategy going
Mhm.
like hero. That's like basically modified hero wide receiver build.
Yeah.
Purdy, Daniels, and JJ for Vape, CMC, Stevenson, Benson, Wright, Dylan Johnson, and Kendall Milton. You liked Kendall early. But you said episode 11 with Adam showed love for Kendall Milton, but said he's probably not going to test well. It's
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he ran like 4.61 or something like that, which is like that's what I expected. He's not going to be a 4.4 guy, but he's 6'2", 225.
Right. Ideal size,
Yeah.
bigger. Diggs at 24, Devo at 25, Zay Flowers, AD, Roman Wilson, Malachi, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker. For me, Vape, this is too many rookies. This is too many rookies without having because I mean, Diggs can disappear for games, several. Debo can also disappear for games. I need a little more floor with this group. I'd like to see a little more floor.
Yeah. I agree.
Not like I'm not looking for bottom floor. I'm looking for high floor.
Yeah.
High floor
Yeah.
players to pair with these rookies.
Yeah. 6 rookies is going to be tough. But I mean, I like all the rookies that he brought in, though, to be fair.
Yeah, same. I'm on a lot of these guys. I'm on most of these guys.
Yeah. So if you're going to do it with 6 of them, I guess it's a good 6 to do it with, but still.
All right, we're going all in.
Yeah.
It's just tough with the rookies tending to start slower in the season, but Mark Andrews and Kittle, I mean, that's a sick pairing.
Yeah.
I gotta give this one. I gotta give this one a 73. It's not my style. That's all. It's not my style. One Palmer pick in between here instead of I like Roman Wilson. You'll never hear me say Palmer over Roman Wilson, but here it's tough. He didn't know probably he's going to bring in 4 more rookies after this pick, so maybe adjusting later.
Yeah.
Bringing in I don't know, maybe even
Rondale
a
Moore.
Tyler Boyd, but risky. We don't even know where he's playing
Yeah.
football.
Exactly.
Who would you say, Rondell?
Yeah, Rondale Moore.
Somebody.
Yeah.
All right, we got a few more. This one is King Bolts, Lamar Jackson, Drake May, and Penix with Hall, Devon Achane, Brooks, Blake Corum, J.K. Dobbs, Tank Bigsby, Diggs, Addison, Pickens, Jonathan Johnson at 102, McConkey at 126, Palmer, Bateman, Michael Thomas. A rare mix-in. Bowers, Ferguson, and Likely. I like the tight ends. I like the QBs.
Yeah, I did
I think
too.
you could just lean into Lamar and Drake May too. I'm cool with just that combo. Running backs, I'm cool with. I like the way he actually sort of used Dobbins in this situation.
Yeah. Same with
Leaning
Bigsby.
into him.
Yeah. Like Bigsby's someone who's going to have touches, and or I mean, in theory, and Jonathan Brooks might
That's
be
what they said. That's what they said. If he fumbles the ball and they lose another game because of him.
Yeah, but he's going to get the ball more this year. So
I like it. Palmer at 174. I'd give this one a solid 86. Nice draft, Bo. Matt Martin with A-Rich, Goff, and Levis. Taylor, Pollard, Spears, Hubbard, Mitchell, and Eric Ray.
Pollard and Spears is kind of different, but I guess I can see it.
It's like, and this is post, he knew that, but Spears is going at 113.
Yeah.
So there are people that are going to have that stack, not on purpose, but they're going to end up, those people that drafted it earlier are going to be more expensive.
Oh yeah.
So probably getting different combinations in there. And then we don't know. Are they going to lean on the run more this year with Pollard and Spears? Could we see something where like the Mostert and Achane thing isn't so crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
But with that in mind, Pollard isn't that like super explosive guy where like
Yeah, but Spears could be, I guess.
could be,
Yeah.
but Mostert and Achane are both explosive. I
Yeah.
think
Fair.
that's
Yeah.
it's crazy saying Mostert's explosive at his age, but
Yeah. 32, but still
the
fly.
type of players they are, I think it
Yeah.
makes more sense doing it with Miami. Amon-Ra, Michael Pittman, Keenan Allen, Calvin Ridley, J-Mo, Roman Wilson, Zay Jones, Alec Pierce, Evan Ingram, Juwan Johnson, and Fant. It's a well-rounded team. It's
Yeah.
a well-rounded team. I'd give this a solid 84. Goff with the double stack here with Amon-Ra and J-Mo.
Levis with Ridley and Spears
And
and
the
Pollard.
double stack of running backs. Yeah, it's well correlated.
Yeah, I like it. And A-Rich with Pittman too.
Yep, correlated all three QBs. Nick, you only get one Nick, okay? No favoritism on this stream, Nick. Donkey from Shrek, Lamar, and Tua with Henry, Chubb, Javonte, Singletary, Khalil Herbert. So this is early. Zach Moss, definitely early, 173. Dobbins. I'm cool with it, even though I'm not on Chubb, like getting Henry and some of these guys.
Yeah.
Nice. Khalil Herbert and Zach Moss kind of flip-flop, but Zach Moss rose higher than that. Yeah, 108.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Adams, Mike Evans, Hopkins, Mike Williams, Rashad Bateman, A.T. Perry, Odell, with Mark Andrews likely and Jonnu. Another well-balanced team. The Odell click I like.
Yeah. I mean, he seems like a big enough name that he'll sign somewhere, but I thought that last year about like, I guess Leonard Fournette and
Yeah, some of those running backs that we're waiting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the most recent talks were, I believe, Miami, and there was like no rush to get a deal done.
Mm.
Chris sent me a 4.574. This might be a low one, boys. You got to see Caleb, Derek Carr, JJ, and Taysom. Not like he overspent the position, but 4 QBs.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a single team with 4 QBs.
Yeah, Taysom probably not necessary, but it's
Yeah. James Cook, Pacheco, Najee, Javonte, Gus Edwards. I'm fine with that group. I'm fine with stopping at 5. JJ, DJ Moore, Chris Olave, Jordan Addison, Cortland Sutton, Darnell Mooney, Trey Tucker. I think this is where we needed, like,
one
at the
more.
very minimum, Taysom Hill should have been a rookie receiver here. TJ Hawk, Kmet, Juwan Johnson, and Sanders. It's tough to go 4 at both onesie positions. It really, and like the draft, it really is. Got to be honest. This one's a 69. This one's a 60. This one's a 69, boys. All right. We have to hit on the gritty. The gritty sent me Lamar and Deshaun. So he was tamed. He was tamed in this one. It can happen. He actually did. JT, Najee Harris, Chubb, Javonte, and AJ Dillon. Are you good with leaning into this group?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, you have JT, Najee, and Javonte for the start of the year, and then hopefully Chubb can get back at some point. But
I like it. I'm cool with it. I'm not huge on Chubb, but I think the draft capital makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson, Ayuk, Pickens, Sutton, Mike Williams, Treylon Burks, Jalen Hyatt, Jalen McMillan, Chase Claypool. You knew he was going to be in it.
Had to.
You knew. Parker Washington and Njoku, Hawkinson at 114, and Pat Fry. I'm cool with this group too, even though Hawkinson at ADP I think's a little overpriced.
Yeah.
I'm not really touching him until like the 130s, 140 range.
Which I feel like he goes in a lot.
I got him in the biggest board at like 150, 153, something.
Yeah, at that point, might as well.
Right. It's a solid draft. You don't have over correlation with any correlation with Lamar. Maybe you get McMillan landing spot,
But I don't think
but you don't need it, right? What do you want to hit the gritty with?
I'd say it's in the 80s for sure. Say like 86.
All
Well,
right,
I guess
86.
I have a preconceived what I was expecting his team to look like. So it's more it fits more kind of how I might go about it.
I love it. I love it. Guys, if you enjoyed the stream, go down, slap the like before you take off. Adam, appreciate you doing this one with me. It was fun looking at the Pounders drafts, all different timestamps of when they drafted and different values they got and how they're stacking or how they're maybe even using some of those like middle round floor guys is interesting in different builds.
Yeah,
But you have
definitely.
anything for the Pounders before we head out?
I was just gonna say thanks for having me on, and I'm excited for the NFL draft this week. I feel like it's
Hell
been
yeah.
like 6 months since football ended, so it's nice to have some sort of football coming back.
I feel the exact same, man. I'm so excited for the NFL draft. I might have to play a little hooky at work to get a stream in on that day. So we'll
Yeah,
see what's in the works for that. But
love it.
appreciate everyone coming out. Thanks for sending me your guys' drafts, and we'll catch you on the next one. Pounders.